Alright guys, so I'm trying out the video idea I told you about. The first video I'm going to make for you guys is on homework 18. After going over it in class, I figured some of you might be stuck. So I'm going to kind of walk through a couple problems to help you guys figure them out. So the first section of homework 18 is based off of the special right triangles that we learned the other day in class. So the triangles, if you remember, you should probably open up your notebook to go along, but if you don't, it's okay. Most of the information will be here anyway. So the first special right triangle we learned was a 45, 45, 90. Okay, remember that the two legs, are congruent here. In our key concept, they call them S because they're sides. Okay, so these two sides are congruent, and then the hypotenuse is whatever each side is times the square root of 2. Alright, those are the 45, 45, 90 triangles. The other special kind of right triangle was a 30, 60, 90. So 30, 60, that looks like a 50, but it's a 60. 30, 60, 90 triangle. And so the bottom side, the base, is still S, but the height on the right is S times the square root of 3. And the hypotenuse is 2 times S. Okay, so if you look through your homework, the first 3, 4, 5, the first 5 problems have to do with 45, 45, 90 triangles. So I'll pick one of these. Let me see. We'll do number 4. Okay, so for number 4, we have, draw this triangle really quick. A 45, 45, 90 triangle, obviously. And the tall side is 60, and we want to know what y is. Okay, so if you just look up here to that triangle, alright, that's the same exact triangle, 45, 45, 90. So the rule is that both of the legs are the same. Okay, so this is not part of the question, but just to clarify, this down here is also 60. Okay, so that means that S is equal to 60. So nice and easy, y would be equal to 60 square root of 2. And that's it. That's the answer. Let me put it in here to double check we got it right. 60. Bingo. Next set of questions on the homework has to do with 30, 60, 90 triangles. Okay, so I'm going to do number 8 here. It's asking for a couple things. So let me actually draw the triangle really quick. Alright. So right triangle. So the hypotenuse is 16. Again, this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. We've got X as the base, and Y as the other leg. Okay, so the one they give us here is the hypotenuse. Now they want to figure out what the other two legs are, right? So if you look right up here, it's directly above. It's the same exact triangle. Now obviously it's facing a different way, but the concepts are the same. Okay, so we have the hypotenuse. I'm going to circle the hypotenuse on both of them so that you can see the relationship. Okay, 2s is how we get to 16. Okay, so if we do 2s equals 16, that will give us s. That'll give us s. Okay, and s is what we're looking for to solve for x and y. That's what we're missing. Alright, so what we're going to do here is isolate s. How do we do that? We divide by 2 because the 2 is bothering it. Alright, the 2's cancel. S equals 16 divided by 2, which is 8. Okay, so x is equal to 8 because s is equal to 8. Alright, and if s is equal to 8, then y is equal to 8 square root of 3. And those are your answers right there for number 8. Okay? Please remember that I don't do these problems to give you the answer for the homework. I'm doing them so that you learn how to do them. If you just fly through here, scroll to the end, and get the answers, well, number one, everybody doesn't have the same numbers for the homework. But you're not going to learn how to do it, and it's really going to hurt you on the test. So please make sure you're using these videos the right way. Alright, so I was scrolling through your homework, and I ran into number 10. And just looking at it, I could tell that some of you might struggle with it, only because it has a lot of information. I think you guys are very capable of doing it. But it does throw a lot at you, so let me finish copying it down here. Then we'll get into how we can knock this one down. Okay, so at first glance, yes, it does look like a lot of information. But if you break it down into steps, you'll see that it's really not that hard. Okay, so let's first analyze what it is that they're asking us for. They want to know what A is equal to, B is equal to, C is equal to, and D is equal to. Okay, so we got to figure out what these 4 variables are equal to. Alright, so I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but if you look closely, you can see that there are 2 triangles here. I'm going to trace this one in red pen so that it stands out to you. Try not to make it too sloppy here. Okay, close enough. So there's a right angle here. And if you notice, this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Now some of you might ask, Coach, how do you know that the other angle is 45? Well, if you do the math, 45 plus 90 and then subtract 180, you'll get 45. So whenever you see one 45-degree angle and one 90-degree angle, you automatically know that the other angle is 45 degrees. Okay, so if we scroll back to our 45, 45, 90, right over here, we can tell that the 2 legs are congruent, right? The 2 legs are S, both of them. And then the hypotenuse is S square root of 2. So right here, we know that 16 times the square root of 2 is S square root of 2. So let me just write that down here. S square root of 2 is equal to 16 square root of 2. Okay? And when we solve this, all right, we want to isolate S because A and C, as you can see over here again, A and C are S. A and C are S because that's a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Okay, so we're going to divide by the square root of 2 because, again, we want to isolate S. Okay, the square root of 2's cancel. We're left with S equals 16. And just like that, we've got, I'll write it in red down here, we've got C and we've got A. That's it, done with 2 of them. 16, 16. Okay, so now comes the bigger triangle that we have on the right over here. So let me shade this back in. Okay, and if you turn your computer, I guess, or your iPad, if you turn your iPad vertically, depends which way you're doing it. If you turn your iPad, you'll be able to see that this is also a right triangle that looks like this. Okay, and so this is B, and I think sometimes it helps to redraw things just so you can really get a grasp on what they look like from a different angle. It might be a little clearer. This is 30, okay, and so again, right off the bat, we can tell that this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Why? How do I know that it's 30, 60, 90? Because one angle is 30 and the other is 90. So if we do 30 plus 90, that's 120, and we subtract 180, that leaves us with 60 degrees. Okay, so every time you see a 90-degree angle with 60 degrees in the triangle, you know that the other one is 30. Or vice versa, if you see 30 degrees, you know that the other angle is 60. Okay, so we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Now let's go back and look at the rules. Over here, you can see that the base is S. Okay, and the hypotenuse is 2 times the short side. That's why it's called S, by the way. So 2S, and then the long leg, the longer leg I should say, is S times the square root of 3. Okay, so let's go back to our actual problem. So we know that a is 16, right? Because we solved it over here. A is 16. Okay, so if a is 16, that means that b is equal to 2s. And s, like I said, we established that s is 16. So b is equal to 2 times 16, which gives us 32. All right, so now we've got b as well. Yeah, b as well. Okay, so now all we're missing is d. Okay, so d was s square root of 3. Again, all you do is plug in the s. The s we said was 16 square root of 3. And just like that, we've got all our answers right there. Let me just plug them in really quick to double check that we have the right answers. I don't want to give you guys wrong answers on these. So 32, 16, and 16 square root of 3. Yeah, square root of 3. Check answer. Bingo, good job. All right, there you go, guys.